Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the top improvements you can make to your house when listing it for sale. What are the things that you can do to get the best bang for your buck with regards to property improvements? Now, for this example, we're going to assume that you don't have an unlimited supply of money, right? That you're on some sort of fixed budget and you only have, say, 10 to 15 grand to work with, right? You know, the saying goes, kitchens and bathrooms sell homes. And while that's true, the majority of us, or the majority of people out there, don't have the money set aside to do these improvements right before listing their home. So today we're going to focus on, the lower cost items that have a huge impact when listing your home for sale. I'm Jeb Smith, Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage in Southern California. If you're new to these videos, do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, stay up to date on what's going on in the real estate world and things that can help you, as a seller or as a buyer moving forward in the real estate market. But so jump right into it. Let's talk about the number one thing. Now, this is a no-cost thing. The no-cost item with regards to you as the seller that you have to put up in order to do this, and that's declutter. Right, that's the one thing you should focus on as a seller when thinking about selling your house. By declutter, I mean go through and really minimize what you have out, what's on the walls, what you have sitting out on tables, on bookcases, etc. A lot of people have a very hard time doing this. So sometimes it's helpful to bring in someone else, and this is where you can get, there can be some costs involved, but start with a real estate agent. Real estate agents a lot of times have really good eyes because they see this stuff all the time. They can guide you in the right direction of what, maybe ways the furniture could be arranged, things to move, declutter, move to the garage, move to a storage unit to help you maximize the space, right? Because the idea of decluttering is that you're maximizing space. You're making the space appear larger than it actually is, because if we're looking at a 2,000 square foot house, we want it to appear larger than 2,000 square foot. We don't want it to feel like it's 1,500 square foot just because there's so much stuff. And by stuff, I'm not only talking about stuff on shelves and on countertops and that sort of thing. I'm talking about furniture. Big bulky furniture, while it's great for living, everyday living, for relaxing, it's not great for showing property. So that's something you want to consider when selling your house. Another no-cost item is curb appeal, and this is right up at the top of the list of things you should consider, because buyers these days, what they're doing is they're seeing houses online, and after they're online, the first thing they do is they go drive the neighborhoods, check out the house. What does it look like from the outside? Because a lot of times photos don't actually, resemble what the house looks like in a lot of cases, because they have filters. In some cases, the photos have even been altered. I see everything. And so the first thing buyers do is they drive the neighborhood to see what the outside of the house looks like. So you want to make sure that it has a decent curb appeal to it. That doesn't mean you have to paint the outside of your house. It doesn't mean you need to repave your driveway, but just make sure it has a good appearance. The lawn's cut, if you have flower beds that there are flowers in them, if you have trees that they're trimmed, those are items you should really focus on. And now when it comes to items that cost money, the best bang for your buck always is paint. In this business, I've seen a lot of houses, and I was in the REO days where I sold a lot of foreclosed properties, and I would go into properties that looked like bombs had been off. I mean, bombs had went off, rather, where the paint was awful, hadn't been touched ever. And it's amazing what just brightening up the paint to a nice neutral color will do for a house. And I say neutral color to make it very clear that if you're going to paint your house, paint it to a neutral color. A white, a light gray is good. Avoid bold colors, avoid large accent walls. While that's great if you live there and it's your taste, for the most people, or for the majority of people out there, they want to walk in and feel like the house is bright, that it's spacious, and lightening up the color in a house can make it appear not only brighter, but also a little bit more spacious with the color that you choose, with a nice bright, say, white color. So focus on paint. And a lot of people get involved, a lot of sellers get emotional, rather, when selling a house, because they feel like the paint should be what they want. Well, you're selling your house to potentially another buyer. And so you need to not appeal to your wants, but to appeal to the masses. And so, painting a nice neutral color will do that. And if your house has been painted recently and, it is neutral, maybe touch up the paint. Focus on areas that may need to be touched up. Front doors. Doors are likely a big candidate for dirty handprints, that sort of thing. Make sure the stuff's clean. Make sure the paint is fresh, because honestly, it will really help in the sale of your property. Second thing, or I guess it would be the fourth thing at this point, because we've talked about decluttering, we've talked about curb appeal, we've talked about paint, is flooring. Most people, as you probably know, are over carpet these days, right? Especially in living areas and high traffic areas. Bedrooms, there's still a lot of carpet. And even in those cases, if the carpet is old, have it replaced, or have it cleaned. Have it replaced if it's older. If it's just dirty or has some minor staining, cleaning is okay. But in the large, in the high traffic areas, the living areas, focus on like a nice neutral flooring. Don't go too dark. Don't go too light on the flooring. Like a nice, neutral floor, like a laminate, like an LVF, which is a luxury vinyl flooring. That stuff is being used. It's extremely common these days, and it's really relatively cost effective. I mean, it is for what it costs to put it in and install it. It's a fraction of what wood flooring would be, and it's a fraction of where laminate was just years ago. And the material is way better. So if you're in a position to remove carpet, put laminate in, that's something you should focus on as well, because honestly, buyers these days are watching a lot of HGTV. They're watching a lot of TV shows where carpet is out of date. And so buyers coming in these days don't want the carpet. So, paint, carpet, biggest two things, or paint and flooring rather, are the biggest two things that you can focus on to get the most money out of your house and sell it in a quicker amount of time, in a faster time. And as I tell sellers all the time, when selling your property, just because you put 10 grand out or 15 grand out doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get 15 grand back. But what it will do is it will put your property, assuming it's priced correctly, in a better position to sell faster, right? And for the most amount of money. Because buyers see value in coming into a house that's freshly painted, flooring that's been replaced. They can tell when items have been recently installed, or things that have been recently done to a house, and they see value in that, even though if it's not done completely to their taste. So keep that in mind when selling your house. You're not necessarily going to get dollar for dollar back. In some cases you may, but you're more or less putting your property in a better position against maybe other houses on the market, or in a better position just to sell quicker. And then lastly would be fixtures in the house. Now, fixtures are a wide range. When I say fixture, I mean lighting fixtures, I mean kitchen faucets, bathroom faucets, door handles. Those are all fixtures to me. And those are items that you should consider replacing depending on your budget at that time. It's probably towards the bottom of my list with the items that I mentioned, but it's definitely something to focus on. Outdated lighting fixtures can be changed pretty easily. There's old recessed lighting can be converted to LED relatively easy, and this is these items are pretty minor on the cost scale. So these are items that buyers see value in, and things that they would likely do when buying a house themselves. So it's something that you should consider as a seller when selling your property. Kitchen faucets, door handles, that sort of thing. A lot of those, kitchen faucets, bathroom faucets, they've been updated, but a lot of people avoid doing door handles for whatever reason. Now, depending on which door handles you choose, it can get pretty costly, but you don't need to do that when selling your property, right? You don't need to go out and buy the nicest stuff available out there, because you're not going to be the one living in the property. You're actually selling it, but you do want it to look nice. So you want to buy, again, not bold colors. While gold is coming back, you might not want to do your house in gold faucets and gold door handles and what have you, because it's a fad. It's going to change, etc. Like a nice, nickel or silver or something may be a better option depending on the color palette in your house. So again, just something to consider. There's a lot of things you can do to really add value to your house. And today, I'm really trying to focus on the lower cost items to put you in the best position to get the most amount of money for your house without spending a lot of money. And, while it's very easy to throw a lot of money out there on random things of things that you hope will get value out of your property. I would say that really to focus on are paint and flooring. That's where you should spend the majority of your money because that is where you will see the greatest return in your property. And then lastly, this isn't an item in selling your house that is an absolute must, but staging is one of those things. It kind of goes with decluttering, but staging is one of those things that you should consider as a seller when listing your home for sale. So anyway, I appreciate you taking the time to watch today. If you will, comment below. If you have questions, contact me directly. Would love the opportunity to help. And as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we'll see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.